The ground trembled as Satan and Liam emerged from the palace into the open expanse of the underworld. The sky, usually a swirling mass of dark reds and blacks, was alive with flashes of energy, and the distant sound of horns echoed through the air. A tear in the fabric of reality had formed at the gates, glowing with a sickly green hue. Figures began to pour through the rift, shadowy, malformed creatures that snarled and hissed. Satan narrowed his golden eyes. A breach this large. Someone powerful is behind this. Liam instinctively pressed closer to Satan, his wings trembling slightly. What are they? Wraiths, Satan replied, his voice steady and commanding. Spirits twisted by hatred and envy, drawn to power like moths to a flame. They're here for me. And for me too, maybe, Liam murmured, his voice soft but resolute. Satan glanced at him. Perhaps your presence has disturbed the balance here. Light and darkness aren't meant to coexist, Liam. Liam swallowed hard, but he nodded. What do we do? With a snap of his fingers, a massive black scythe materialized in his hand, its blade glimmering with an otherworldly light. Stay behind me, Angel. If you get hurt, I'll never hear the end of it. Liam couldn't help but smile faintly, despite the danger. I'll do my best. The wraiths surged forward, their screeches filling the air. Satan moved like a force of nature, his scythe slicing through the creatures with deadly precision. Each swing sent arcs of dark energy crackling through the air, scattering the wraiths like leaves in a storm. Liam stood back, his heart pounding as he watched Satan fight. The demon lord was a terrifyingly beautiful sight, his black wings unfurled and his movements precise and fluid. But as more wraiths poured through the rift, Liam realized he couldn't just stand there. He closed his eyes, focusing on the light within him. Slowly his hands began to glow with a soft golden light. When he opened his eyes, the wraiths nearest to him recoiled, hissing as the light burned them. I can do this, Liam whispered to himself. He stepped forward, his wings spreading wide as he unleashed a pulse of light that pushed the creatures back. Satan glanced over his shoulder, his expression one of surprise and faint pride. Not bad, Angel. Just don't get cocky. The battle raged on, but together they began to gain the upper hand. Liam's light weakened the wraiths, allowing Satan to dispatch them with ease. The rift, however, remained open, and the energy pouring from it grew stronger. Satan growled in frustration. The rift won't close on its own. Someone is holding it open from the other side. Then we need to stop them, Liam said, his voice firm. Satan hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Stay close to me. We'll go through together. Without waiting for a response, Satan grabbed Liam's hand and pulled him toward the rift. The moment they stepped through, the air grew colder, and the world around them shifted into a desolate, otherworldly plain. At the center of the chaos stood a tall, cloaked figure, their face obscured by shadows. Their voice was a low, resonant hiss. Ah, the great demon lord and his little angel. How poetic. Who are you? Satan demanded, his scythe at the ready. The figure chuckled. Someone who has grown tired of your reign, Lucifer. And now, with this angel at your side, you've become weak. It's time for a new ruler. Liam felt a surge of anger at the insult. He's not weak. He's stronger than you could ever be. The figure laughed again, a dark, mocking sound. We'll see. With a wave of their hand, they summoned a torrent of dark energy that surged towards Satan and Liam. Satan blocked it with his scythe, but the force pushed him back. Liam, acting on instinct, stepped forward and unleashed a beam of light that pierced through the darkness, forcing the figure to retreat slightly. Satan smirked. Not bad, Angel. Let's finish this. The two of them fought side by side, their opposing powers combining in a way that seemed impossible. darkness and light intertwined, creating a force neither had ever experienced before. Together they overwhelmed the cloaked figure, driving them back toward the rift. "This isn't over," the figure snarled, before vanishing into the void. As the rift began to close, Satan and Liam found themselves back in the underworld, the air now calm and still. The wraiths were gone, and the energy of the realm had stabilized. Liam turned to Satan, his face flushed with exhilaration. "We did it." Satan looked at him, his golden eyes softening. "We did." He reached out, brushing a strand of hair from Liam's face. "You surprised me, Angel." Liam smiled. "I guess I'm full of surprises." Satan chuckled, his hand lingering on Liam's cheek. "That you are." As they stood there in the aftermath of the battle, the quiet of the underworld settling around them, Liam's heart pounded in his chest, not from fear or exhaustion, but from the intensity of the moment. Satan's hand lingered on his cheek, the roughness of his touch somehow comforting against Liam's soft skin. "You're staring at me again," Satan teased, his voice low, carrying that familiar edge of smugness. But there was a new warmth to it now. Liam blushed, his wings fluttering slightly behind him. "I wasn't staring." "You were," Satan countered, his golden eyes gleaming with amusement. He let his hand slide down, his fingers brushing the edge of Liam's jaw before he pulled away, his usual stoic mask slipping back into place. "You've got a fire in you, Angel. I didn't expect that." Liam smiled faintly, feeling emboldened by Satan's words. "Maybe being around you is bringing it out." Satan arched a brow, his lips twitching into a smirk. "Is that so?" Before Liam could respond, a gust of wind swept through the open expanse, ruffling their wings and hair. The stillness of the moment was gone, and the underworld's eerie quiet returned. Satan looked around, as if checking for any lingering danger, before turning back to Liam. "Come," he said, his voice softer than before. "We need to get back to the palace. You need rest." Liam hesitated, then nodded, following Satan as they made their way back. Despite the exhaustion weighing on him, Liam couldn't help but steal glances at Satan as they walked. There was something different about him now, something gentler in the way he carried himself. And for the first time, Liam realized just how much he trusted the Demon Lord. Back at the palace, Satan led Liam to a quiet sitting room rather than the main hall. A fire crackled in the hearth, casting a warm glow over the dark stone walls. Satan gestured for Liam to sit on the plush couch, and he did, folding his legs beneath him and tucking his wings close to his back. "You saved me out there," Liam said after a moment, breaking the silence. "I don't know if I would have survived without you." Satan leaned against the mantel, his arms crossed over his broad chest. "You didn't need saving, Liam. You held your own. You were remarkable." The compliment caught Liam off guard. He looked up at Satan, his cheeks flushing pink. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you." Satan let out a soft chuckle, shaking his head. "You give me too much credit, Angel." He moved to sit beside Liam, the couch dipping under his weight. "You've got more strength in you than you realize." Their eyes met, and for a moment, the world seemed to shrink, leaving only the two of them. Liam's breath caught in his throat as Satan reached out, his fingers brushing against Liam's hand. "You're different," Satan said, his voice low, almost a whisper. "Different from anyone I've ever known." Liam's heart raced. "You're different too. I never thought someone like you could be kind." Satan smirked, but it was softer than usual. "Don't let that get out. I've got a reputation to maintain." Liam laughed softly, the sound like music to Satan's ears. "Your secret's safe with me." They sat in silence for a moment, the warmth of the fire wrapping around them. Then, tentatively, Liam leaned closer, his shoulder brushing against Satan's. Satan didn't move away. Instead, he reached up, his hand cradling the back of Liam's head as he pulled him closer. Their foreheads touched, and Liam's breath hitched. "Is this okay?" he whispered. Satan's golden eyes softened, and he nodded. "More than okay." And then, slowly, Satan closed the gap between them, his lips capturing Liam's in a kiss that was surprisingly gentle for someone so powerful. It was warm and tender, a stark contrast to the chaos they had just faced. Liam melted into it, his hands resting on Satan's chest as his wings fluttered behind him. When they finally pulled apart, Satan rested his forehead against Liam's, his thumb brushing along his jawline. "You're dangerous, Angel," he murmured, a teasing smile on his lips. "You're going to make me soft." Liam laughed, his cheeks glowing pink. "And you're not as terrifying as you pretend to be." Satan chuckled, his voice a deep rumble. "Don't tell anyone." "I won't," Liam promised, his smile softening. "It's our secret."